Hey everyone, welcome back to Finance and Crypto, a fresh news source for the latest news, trends, and updates in the space so you are always in the know. I'm your host, Rose J. So guys, as you can see here, today's going to be a little bit different from the last few videos that I've put out here. Of course, to me personally, I think finance and crypto go together to a certain extent because the way I look at it, you really shouldn't be involved in crypto unless your finances are in order. Because if you think about it, ironically, the origins of crypto actually came from the destruction of what was going to be from the 2008 financial crisis, from too much financial irresponsibility, you can kind of say, so to speak. So today, I wanted to focus on financial literacy and what that really means, and how important it is for all of us to really take control of our own financial health and our own financial education. So let's go to see what the actual definition of financial literacy says here. So the textbook definition says financial literacy is the possession of the set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions with all of their financial resources. So, in other words, I'm just going to break it down simply. Financial literacy just means understanding where you stand financially and the smart moves that you should or shouldn't make. Now, why did I want to talk about this today? Obviously, a few of my videos, like I said, has been about what's going on in the space financially in the cryptocurrency realm, and I will get back to that content. I mean, there's a lot of news that's been going on. We have this downtrend that it kind of gives you a head fake. If you look at the market here, and give you a head fake like everything is going up, and then a few days later, or a few hours later I should say, now we're back going down. As I just refreshed here, it looks like things are back on the upswing a little bit. Bitcoin was down to about 7,800, 7,900, and it looks like the dominance is at 42%, 328. We were down around 320 last time I checked. So things are looking on the upswing right now. But we will get back to this content. I'm going to try to put something out tomorrow as far as some of the news that came out today. Actually, some of the other news that came out late last night and tomorrow. So let's get back to financial literacy. Now, the reason I want to speak about this today is because I really do feel that it's extremely important. For all of us who are taxpayers, who work a 9-to-5, or who are just income receivers, what we do with our income is extremely important, and how we allocate our income into what we allocate it to tells a lot about our financial literacy and how well we understand finances. Now, I seen an article not too long ago that stated that around 80% of Americans didn't have more than $400 or $500 in their savings account in case a rainy day were to occur. And all of us know we don't know the future. You can have a rainy day. God knows what could happen. We can't control that. So I wanted to talk about that because I thought that was extremely alarming. And there could be one or two reasons why you can be in that position. One, maybe you're working in a field or occupation that's just it doesn't provide you the income that after you take care of your obligations, whether it's your bills, utilities, children, and the things that you have that are prioritized, after that's taken care of, you may not have enough to spread around to put it in a savings account to go ahead and add that up and have it equal 500 or 1,000, so on and so forth. And believe me, we have a lot of Americans who are in that position. So I believe that could be the case with some. Now, The other side of that equation might just be your financial health and how you look at it just hasn't been either articulated to you the proper way, or you have never just been taught the proper way. So what do I mean by that? Simply, living within your means. Now, if you took a poll of most Americans and you asked them, what was their car payment, or what was their mortgage payment, or the amount that they put down for that, to be able to afford that house or that car. If you were to go ahead and you would put down their income and you put that ratio to what they're paying for their house or their car, I would get, and I don't have the numbers in front of me. A lot of this, guys, is off the cuff. I was reading a few articles today, and I just really felt like I wanted to put this information out, and that's why I'm talking about it. But we would possibly see that maybe 50 or 60% of Americans are paying much more than they can actually afford. And the number one way to set yourself up for poverty is continuously, for a long period of time, living out of your means. That's the number one way. So I really do feel like financial literacy should be something that each and every one of us focuses on every single day. Every single day. So what do I mean by that? Now, when you get your paycheck from whatever you do, whether you're an entrepreneur and you pay yourself, whether you work a 9 to 5 and you get a pay stub every week or bi-weekly, when you get your paycheck, there is a certain way that you should definitely allocate your finances to make sure that you're setting yourself for the best financial future, whether it's for yourself, if you have a family, or if it's just for you and maybe a significant other. There's a proper way to do these things, and that's what I want to talk about today. So when we get paid, the first thing that a lot of Americans do, I should say a lot of us, because I am an American, is we immediately take our paychecks and we go and spend it on things we don't want, or excuse me, I should say things we don't need, and things we want, and things we really don't care about, but we want others to see that we have these quote-unquote material things. And obviously the term for this has been called keeping up with the Joneses. That's really been putting us Americans in a state of debt. I believe the metrics was, again, I believe it was 80% of Americans, I believe this is on Zero Hedge, it also said that 80% of Americans owe someone else something. 80%. That means there's only 20% of Americans who are actually financially free. Now, most of us look at freedom as being able to wake up in the morning, walk outside, breathe fresh air, and no one telling us what to do or what not to do. That's how most of us think of freedom. However, freedom, real freedom, is actually the ability to do as you please, when you please, how you please, without worrying about the ramifications if this, that, or the other happens. So what do I mean by that? If you are someone who went out and you purchased a vehicle that, let's say there's a vehicle that costs $40,000 and you put down, let's say, 5% down on that vehicle, so there's $35,000 that you are now financing, or excuse me, I said 5%, I meant you put down $5,000 on that vehicle, and now there's $35,000 that you are financing. If your credit isn't up to par, you're going to be setting yourself up to be paying, one, high interest on $35,000 on possibly these days somewhere between 60 and 72 months. That can drastically set you back from where you could possibly be if you weren't thinking about what this person had or what your neighbor had, and maybe you had a $5,000, and instead of you wanting to get that flashy, nice, $40,000 luxury vehicle, if you were to scale back and maybe look to buy something cash for $5,000, or maybe finance only $5,000, whereas you're paying half of the vehicle of a vehicle that costs $10,000, and so now you're only financing $5,000. That would put you in a position financially where you would be in a better place to hold most of your money. Because when you get paid, the point of you going to work is not for you to pay bills. The point of you going to work is for you to keep, is to keep most of your income. That's the point of you going to work. You don't want to have to owe or pay a loan for this here, a loan for this there, pay Piper here, pay Jaden there, pay bank. You don't want that. The way that you earn your financial freedom is to really, really focus on your financial health. And the way that you focus on your financial health is to maintain your financial literacy by understanding to live within your means, and don't do more than you should do. Don't worry about the next person. Don't worry about what this person has on Facebook. Focus on your financial goals. Focus on your financial health, and your financial literacy will always stay intact. This is ever changing, and I really do believe that this ties in with cryptocurrencies. Like I've said in the past, cryptocurrencies was birthed off of financial irresponsibility. The whole reason that we got into the 2008 financial crisis were from banks being completely irresponsible with those I'm totally blanking out on those I believe those mortgage-backed loans that they were toxic assets that they basically were almost playing hack-a-sack, where they were sending it from one banking institution to another banking institution, knowing that those toxic assets had absolutely no value. And that's how we got into obviously there's a lot more to it. I'm actually going to make a video about that, but there's a lot more to it. But those subprime mortgage lending loans is actually what got us into the mess that we were in. And because we were in that mess, Satoshi Nakamoto found a solution to the problem, to make sure that we have accountability in our money, and he created a deflationary currency called Bitcoin to help us free ourselves from our debt-based system to a deflationary, accountable cryptocurrency, mathematics-based system where everything is accounted for on a public ledger and no double spending could actually be implemented. So, I kind of went on a tangent there, but I tried to tie it in with cryptocurrency, but I really, really wanted to focus on the main point, and that's in 2018, 10 years after the worst financial crisis that I've dealt with in my life. I believe that financial literacy is the most important thing that all of us should make sure that we're always up to date on. We should never depend on anyone to be, to be our financial guide. And I'll say this now, I'm no financial guru. This is not financial advice. Don't take this for, don't take this to heart. I'm not your financial advisor. However, I am someone who does practice and try to practice, living within my means, because I don't want to put myself and my family in a tough position. And I really do feel like if most of us practice this, we would have a better all-around world, and we would have a more united world. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. I really want to, go deeper into this, but I just think that right now in 2018, with everything going on in the stock market, everything kind of going on in cryptocurrencies, as far as the volatility that we've been experiencing lately, I really do feel like we should all focus on really maintaining a strong sense of financial literacy and maintaining a good sense of financial health for ourselves, for our families, and also for the betterment of our country and our world as a whole. So guys, like I said, today's video was a little bit different. Kind of went on a tangent there. Didn't mean to, but I did feel like this was important, and I wanted to get the message out there. So if it helped anybody, that's my whole goal. And I'll be back to regular content on the next video, so please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and we'll touch base on the next one. Have a good one, guys.